In the cold, silent edges of our solar system, far beyond the last gasps of the sun's influence, an ancient spacecraft launched in 1977 is still whispering back to Earth. It's Voyager 2. For decades, it has explored worlds no human has touched, transmitted data no instrument had ever recorded before, and sent us images that reshaped our view of the cosmos. But recently, Voyager 2 did something no one expected. It sent a signal, strange, fragmented, and buried in a layer of distortion no one at NASA could explain. At first, it looked like a malfunction. But what happened next has shaken the world of science. Because after analyzing the signal, engineers realized it didn't come from a known system failure. It came from somewhere else, somewhere the Voyager wasn't supposed to be. And the data it sent back suggests one thing. The edge of the solar system isn't a boundary, it's a veil. And Voyager 2 may have just passed through something far more ancient, far more complex, and far more intelligent than we ever imagined. For years, Voyager 2 has continued its journey into interstellar space, slowly and steadily drifting through the darkness at more than 34,000 mph. Its instruments, although aged and limited, have consistently delivered plasma readings, cosmic ray measurements, and magnetic field data, all useful, all expected. But then, in a quiet burst of transmissions, something changed. Engineers noticed that one of the onboard systems had begun to behave erratically. The attitude, articulation, and control system, the brain that keeps Voyager pointed at Earth, suddenly began reporting information through a computer that hadn't been active in decades. This caused the data to be corrupted and unreadable. But strangely, the spacecraft itself was still pointing correctly, and its signal was strong. Nothing else was wrong. It was as if the probe had chosen on its own to reroute its transmissions through a dead channel. The question quickly shifted from what's broken to who made it switch. Because in 45 years of flight, Voyager 2 had never shown this behavior, and no command was ever sent to tell it to do this. The most unsettling part of the anomaly wasn't just that the system rerouted itself. It was where the rerouted data appeared to go. When engineers dug into the transmission logs, they found that the corrupted telemetry wasn't random noise. It was structured, following sequences that resembled Voyager's earliest launch protocols, as if the system had rebooted not into an error but into an old memory. And it didn't stop there. Buried inside the corrupted packets was a consistent echo, a low-frequency harmonic that didn't match any of Voyager's signal architecture. It repeated every 7.44 seconds, faded in and out like a pulse, and refused to respond to external commands. No command, no override, no reset could stop it. Engineers at NASA began to refer to it as the heartbeat. Some believed it was a software ghost, a signal glitch replaying internal feedback, but others weren't so sure. Because the frequency didn't originate from Voyager's internal systems, it came from outside, and that's when the real fear began to set in. Not that the probe was malfunctioning, but that it was interacting with something beyond our solar system, something structured, something real. Eventually, NASA released a carefully worded public update. Yes, there had been a telemetry error. Yes, engineers were working on it. And yes, they had resolved it by rerouting the data back through the correct systems. But what the public wasn't told was what they found when they did. When the original signal was decoded using Voyager's legacy communication software, a curious pattern emerged. Embedded between the corrupted data blocks were what looked like binary markers that hadn't been transmitted by Earth nor logged by Voyager's memory core. These markers, when mapped visually, formed a repeating geometric structure, hexagons within hexagons, a recursive pattern echoing known phenomena in nature, but completely alien in its digital context. Some compared it to crop circles encoded in machine language. Others thought it resembled early fractal sequences, self-replicating systems seen in mathematics but not in telemetry. And most disturbing of all, the timestamps attached to those packets seemed dislocated in time, not recorded in the current Voyager timeline, but offset, as if the signal was being influenced or composed from a different temporal layer. One NASA insider reportedly said, "We didn't just receive a signal, we received a message." After decoding the fragments, a small group of astrophysicists and communication theorists began to propose a theory that, if true, would upend everything. What if Voyager 2's hidden transmission wasn't a glitch, but a response? Not from a spacecraft, not from a star, but from a structure in space, an interstellar field, perhaps electromagnetic in nature, capable of absorbing, modifying, and returning our signals back to us in a different form. The binary patterns weren't just random distortions. They were reflections, signatures of something analyzing the probe's signal, restructuring it, and returning it wrapped in a new layer of complexity. And the fact that it chose an old dormant computer to speak through only added to the mystery. It was as if Voyager had been pulled into a conversation it didn't initiate, as if it crossed into a space that was listening and had been waiting to hear from us. And now, the scientific community is left with a terrifying question. Did Voyager 2 stumble into a communication field engineered by something beyond human understanding? Or did it simply touch a natural phenomenon so advanced it looks like intent? After the decoded fragments began circulating within tight scientific circles, something strange happened. Communications within NASA's Deep Space Network became suddenly more restricted. Analysts previously involved in decoding the corrupted data were reassigned. Several independent researchers assisting with waveform analysis received official requests to cease all publication and public discussion on Voyager-related findings. The incident was no longer being treated as a technical glitch, but as a matter of strategic sensitivity. Internally, it became known as Event V2X. Some saw this as standard protocol, a precaution in case the anomaly pointed to a national security concern, but others believed it was something more. Because for the first time in its 45-year history, Voyager 2's data wasn't being released openly to the public. And that suggested one thing above all else: they had found something they didn't want us to see. Parallel to the silence, a few rogue researchers began comparing the strange binary patterns in Voyager 2's hidden transmission with past unexplained signals, from the mysterious WOW signal of 1977 to more recent fast radio bursts detected from deep space. To their shock, fragments of similar structure appeared, not in language, not in audio, but in mathematical cadence. Recurring timing patterns, pulse ratios, geometric ratios that mapped onto prime number lattices and non-Earth time intervals. The idea began to take shape that Voyager 2's signal had been intercepted and modulated by a system far more advanced than anything we could create. Voyager 2 didn't cross into emptiness. It crossed into structure, into design, into something that might not be life as we know it, but something aware, reactive, and maybe even curious. What do we do now, knowing that our most distant machine may have knocked on a door we didn't know existed? Do we knock again? Do we listen harder? Or do we fall silent, not out of fear but out of respect? Because the truth is no longer whether we are alone. The truth is that we were never alone. And now, someone else knows that too. What do you think Voyager 2 really found? Was it just coincidence? Or did we just stumble into a cosmic conversation we were never meant to hear?